Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-da-ba-bum-bum. Hi everyone, this is Rabbi Kenneth Hahn for JUTV. It's Ask the Rabbi Thursdays, and today I'm talking about the question, what is the greatest debate in Jewish history? And that's a tough one because there have been a lot of really good ones. Let's talk about that for a minute. The first one that comes to mind is very early on. In Genesis, Abraham has a remarkable debate with God. Basically, if you recall, God had decided to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah and essentially engage in collective punishment. And Abraham, thinking that morally reprehensible, starts a debate with God saying, well, if there were 50 good people there, would you do it? And so on and so forth. That was a really good debate. Another series of debates that happened over a long time were the debates between two great rabbis in the Jewish tradition, Hillel and Shammai, who lived at the same time, and each actually had his own school. And they had great debates. Two very well-known ones were how best to instruct people about Judaism, and also the classic how best to light the menorah. And there have been other really great debates over the course of Jewish history, needless to say. But the one I want to talk about today, perhaps the greatest debate of all, is the all-important question, which is better, Latkes or Hamentashen? Okay, so the rabbis at UJUC are all addressing questions this week that have to do with Purim, which is coming up this Saturday and Sunday, and I hope you all have a great Purim celebration. But I want to talk a little bit about this great debate of what's better, the Latke or the Hamentashen. And this is a debate that's actually been raging in full force since 1946. A little bit of history here. The debate was first formally engaged in on the University of Chicago campus in the year 1946. And my understanding is it actually was done as a way for college students there to let off some steam. It was in winter. I think it was probably during exam period. And we know what is said about the University of Chicago. It's where fun goes to die. People take their studies very seriously. So I guess they wanted to cut loose a little bit. And there was this debate about which is better, the Latke or the Hamentashen. And it was held at the Hillel House on the campus, and it was it was actually hosted by, I guess, Rabbi Maurice Pekarsky, and since 1946 it has happened annually on the University of Chicago campus, and there are certain rules regarding who can debate and how they are to debate. Who can debate? You have to actually be a PhD or have an advanced degree in your field. You have to, when engaging in the debate, you have to wear full academic regalia, and you have to use terminology from your field of study. There have been incredible debaters, many Nobel laureates, MacArthur Prize winners, et cetera, and over time, the debate spread from the University of Chicago to all kinds of places, to many other universities and colleges, as well as synagogues and elsewhere. I wanted to read you some well-known statements from some classic debates that have occurred over the last, 60 plus years or so. Ted Cohen, a University of Chicago philosophy professor, concluded an analysis of how correct philosophical reasoning would lead one to take the Latke by explaining, quote, a world without Hamentashen would be a wretched world. A world without Hamentashen might be unbearable, but a world without Latkes is unthinkable. In a debate at MIT, Robert Silby, then dean of the School of Science, cited Google, which returned 380,000 hits on a search for Latke and only 62,000 for Hamentashen. Silby also claimed that Latkes, not Hamentashen, are the dark matter thought to make up over 21% of the mass of the universe. At Harvard, criminal lawyer and professor Alan Dershowitz, during a debate, accused the Latke of, quote, increasing the United States' dependence on oil, unquote. In debates concerning law, participants have quoted from the majority opinion of Justice Blackmun, then of the Supreme Court, in the case County of Allegheny versus the ACLU, where he said, quote, "It is also accustomed to serve potato pancakes or other fried foods on Hanukkah because the oil in which they are fried is, by tradition, a reminder of the miracle of Hanukkah," unquote. The Supreme Court has given no such recognition to Hamentashen. A couple more. In the fifth debate at Johns Hopkins in December of 2010, Professors Jonathan Flombaum and Hollis Robbins made a case for the latke on semiotic and philosophical grounds, drawing upon Spinoza and Jacques Derrida to emphasize the latke's différence and to argue its, quote, joyous heterogeneity, unquote, that made it the better holiday food. And finally, when he was president of Princeton University, Harold Shapiro argued the Hamentashen superiority by pointing out the Epicurean significance of the, quote, edible triangle, unquote, in light of the literary, quote, edible triangle. So it's been a raging debate for a very long time. The truth of the matter is there hasn't been a winner, and in most cases there isn't a winner. In most cases it comes out as a draw. Now, where do I come down on this, the Hamentashen versus the latke? Here's how I feel. You know, if you go out to your favorite breakfast place, sometimes you are in the mood for an omelet, and sometimes you are in the mood for a waffle. Sometimes it's savory, sometimes it's sweet. Is one better than the other? I dare say no. That said, it's generally the case that it's tough to make anything but a sweet Hamentashen. Latkes typically go savory. You know, you can salt them up and have the fried potato and oil and throw some sour cream on it. But you also can slather applesauce on the latke and get a combined savory and sweet taste, which to me means maybe it's a bit more versatile. But in the final analysis, for me personally, insofar as I am gluten-free, I have yet to find good-tasting gluten-free Hamentashen. And so, on balance, I guess I'd have to give my vote to the latke. But you all get to decide. With that, I want to say it's Happy Purim. It's coming right up. Enjoy it festively, Saturday night into Sunday. Go read the story, hear the Megillah reading if you can. And if you happen to have a good gluten-free Hamentashen recipe, by all means, send it my way. And with that, I will say lehitraot. See you later, and tune in again on Monday for Music Monday. Have a great Purim. Bye-bye.